hover over top and just kind of keep it at a distance. But just in case we ever have to break out or we stop for a second, that's because we are getting close to LAX airspace. So if they do get into that direction, we won't be able to fly SkyCal over that. So showing you video from earlier now on the right side of your screen. This is when the pickup truck was on East 57th and Bandera. And I believe this is probably one of those moments where he just kind of reverses. Yep, you see the reverse lights, and then bam. This is the first time we saw it, and really highlighted just how crazy of a situation we're watching.
I mean, this is another example of just how reckless this car is, this individual is. He's already wanted for assaulting an officer, and every time you see him do one of those maneuvers where he backs up into those patrol cars, that is another, you know, offense that that's gonna go against him if and when he is caught, because that is another, you know, example of assault on an officer and using, you know, a weapon. Using a car, it's only going to get him into more trouble, but it's obvious that right now that is not what he's concerned about. He has been even slowly at times, picking up speed at times, very erratic and very dangerous. So we are again in Southeast Los Angeles right now as we watch this police chase go through the streets of these, you know, surface level streets. As Gio and I were mentioning earlier, he has not tried to get, or they have not tried to get on the freeway, but they have blown through stop signs, stop lights, intersections, driving on the wrong side of the, you know, lanes. This is a guy that they are definitely going to want to figure out, you know, what is going on here and how they can safely bring this to a close.
And right now we do want to welcome in retired LAPD pilot Dave Avila on the phone. Dave, can you hear us all right? I want to check in before we start asking you questions.
Yeah, no problem at all. Gio Hunter, it's good talking to you. Just a shame it's going to be after one of these type of pursuits. We've had so much stuff here going on lately regarding officers.
Well, we certainly appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time this evening. First thing I was going to throw to you is how often do you see pursuit suspects sort of treat their car kind of like a battering ram? I think that was the craziest thing that we noticed here so far was this suspect throwing the car into reverse and then ramming directly into an LAPD cruiser.
Yeah, he's thinking that if he backs up into them, he's going to just cause their airbags to deploy and then they won't be able to pursue him any longer. No doubt, especially with that pickup truck. But numerous counts of ADW on a police officer utilizing a motor vehicle. This is a multi-felony type suspect, so they will stay with them. We don't know what type of suspect he is as far as weapons involved, anything like that. However, I mean, it's you could see by the nature of his response and his pursuit tactics, backing up into officers, he has no intention of stopping.
No intention of stopping, and no regard, excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. No regard for these officers' safety as well, but obviously the safety of the people on the roads as well. I mean, what right now is going through law enforcement officers' minds as they see a driver like this become so erratic, how they, you know, take those steps to walk the fine line of protecting the public while also still, you know, maintaining their follow on this guy?
It just comes right back to all the factors that have to be considered in any type of pursuit. You know, public safety is number one, officer safety, nature of the offense, any number of suspects, the speed involved. I mean, here we do get some speeds that are creeping up there at 50 plus miles per hour. So,
por ejemplo, míreme, es que mire, pues, no es para reírnos, ¿va? Es para saber. Y tal vez a ustedes si les da risa, pues está bien, ¿va? Pero míreme,
you can imagine he doesn't care who's in front of him or what he has to do to maintain his freedom. So
no se quiere reír, pero está aguantando.
Well, one of the other things we've noticed, Dave, is that through the course of when we've been keeping an eye on the pursuit.
Yo no me río, está para la cámara. Ay, no, qué sinvergüenza.
Delay, so you'll see it in a second. But
no,
the fact that
no sé quién, pero yo la sé.
Ustedes han hecho que dicen, estoy aburrido. Porque miren, a mí me aburre estar mucho en casa. A veces. Pero por ejemplo, al estar mucho en casa, y luego tienen que salir o a la ventana o lo que sea. ¿Qué piensa que usted es lo más raro que han hecho?
Escuchar música de cabeza.
Yo estoy aquí justo en la ventana.
No sé si soy el único raro, pero cuando no hay nada que hacer me pongo de cabeza y escuchar música. Siento que me relajo.
Míreme, pero ahí están dando tips.
Ya iba a preguntar yo qué es eso, escuchar música de cabeza.
Miren, hay mucha gente aquí que no se quiere unir.
Es que me acuesto en la cama, pero me pongo como con la cabeza para el suelo y siento como que mi cuerpo se relaja. Yo sé que se escucha raro, pero
but he does pick it up every now and then. So
Yeah.
the desperation is there.
Definitely, as we watch him kind of
Ya escuché un bebé.
Ellos no suben, me estoy muriendo de risa con los sonidos que se escuchan.
También
No,
está en live.
Those intersections, red lights, all of the
no sean
things that
así
can potentially
ustedes,
put
no
people
sean
in
así,
danger.
pórtense
As good
bien.
as how does this truck
¿Ustedes son obedientes o
play into
desobedientes?
as we see him get to a very busy intersection? It'll be interesting to
Yo
see.
soy como los militares,
He's
a lo
gonna
que me
go
digan
right on
algo.
through it.
Eso,
Stopping that car there.
ey, mujeres, ahí está,
This
ella
truck
aún
cannot be
está
easy to
casado.
maneuver. Obviously, we're not seeing one of these like,
No,
very
divorciado.
small cars.
Ey, lo grabaron, va, lo
massive
grabaron.
cars that maybe we typically see
Ya va a salir
in
la
a
esposa
pursuit that
ahí.
gives,
Al ratito, ahí va a estar una
challenge.
No tengo esposa, vivo solo.
For a truck through streets
Con un
like this,
rótulo.
and is that kind of working to their advantage?
Yeah, it could be because this is a little bit heavier. It's not a dually truck, but it's it's a heavy pickup, heavy duty type. But I don't think that's such a factor as far as maneuvering through these streets. But one thing I have noticed during this pursuit is that he did have some TC damage, some collision damage to his right rear, as you could see there. Now it looks like it, and the reason I mentioned that is because it looks like it's getting pretty close. The wheel well's getting pretty close to the tire. So if anything, hopefully it would just start hitting that tire and kind of stop it. Because I mean, as far as a pit maneuver, that may not happen because of the situation. I'm still waiting to try to find out exactly what type of suspect this is, because it's he's doing way more than the average.
Yeah. We had heard initially, assault on a police officer. So obviously that elevates this to a situation that, would put him as somebody that they are not wanting to provoke in a way that would put the public in danger, as you mentioned earlier, that being the number one concern here. But yeah, I mean, just very erratic driving. I mean, nearly hit that patrol car there as it made that right-hand turn. I mean, what's going through your head right now, the decisions that are being made to make sure that they bring this
Para el 2018 llegué yo acá y estaba pero súper nevado.
Sí, como 2 semanas o 3 semanas pasó la nieve y no.
Decía, ya me libré de la escuela.
Sí, decía yo, ya me libré de la escuela, ya no voy a ir a la
It's a good
escuela.
warning sign. It's just like anytime
Ay,
we're
no.
on the street, civilians, and ourselves included, we hear a siren and we hear the flapping of blades from the helicopter. We're going to start looking around to see what's going on. Notice how, and I am on your time actually with this new system that we have.
Fantastic.
And I noticed that he just turned his headlights off, kind of swerved there right now. So a little bit of a change here. All of a sudden the lights go off. So maybe he's trying to think of a way to get out and take off on foot.
Well, and Dave, to your point earlier, when we were getting a look at that right rear damage, it was rather notable once we zoomed in on it a bit, but it sounds like the game plan you're sort of describing right now is, if needed, you wait him out, because you're not seeing a lot of patrol vehicles get up directly behind him. They're kind of letting him go in and around all of these alleys, make these turns, and just kind of, like you said, maintain a presence while also making sure that people know something is going on, so that way, we're not seeing a lot of close calls that sometimes we would be seeing on surface streets as a car is kind of barreling through a neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly, Gio. So I think that's what they're planning on right now. I kind of missed that. We missed it. It looked like they may have tried something there, but we lost visual. Let's see what happens here. There's earlier. Okay, he's slowing down. Now, is he gonna come back at the officers? Which it looks like it.
It
almost looked like it did for a bit. Yeah.
We apologize.
Up into him. So there's another felony on him. Numerous felonies on this suspect. So it looks like we're locked up right now with the camera. But
well, I think Dave, as we try to.
One of the units, we've seen it now time and time again. It is what this individual is wanted for. It's assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer. The weapon, of course, being that very large Ford F-350. Just a little bit, but some damage to it already. Slows down. It's usually because passenger side of your tail light appears to be out. I see damage to the bumper there as well. Again, officers did say they thought they saw that one of the tires are starting to go flat. Hopefully that is the case, and hopefully that is what brings things to a peaceful end. But it doesn't really seem to be affecting to it already. His ability to drive the vehicle because he's still able to be out. I see damage to the bumper residential streets And officers did
There is
say they
another
thought they
black
saw
and
that
white
one of the
patrol
tires
unit
was
that's
right
running
in
to go
front of the
flat.
suspect car.
Hopefully that
For
is
a
the
second
case, and
there,
hopefully that
officers
is what brings
were
things to
saying
a
that they thought
peaceful
perhaps
end, but
the
suspect
suspect
was
was
trying
trying
to
to
chase
affecting
that
his
vehicle, but
ability
it
to
doesn't seem to be the
drive
case,
the vehicle because
that black
he's
and
still
white
able to
unit
zigzag
turn
through
and he
these
did not follow him
residential
after that.
streets.
So we are back in a
There is
residential
another
area,
black and
making
white
that southbound
patrol unit
turn.
that's right in front of
It's
the
going to be
suspect
Compton
car. And for a
Avenue
second
from
there,
57,
officers
and
were
he's
saying
back
that they
in
thought
that
perhaps
LAX
the
airspace,
suspect was
which
trying to
if you
chase
are
that vehicle.
a follower of
But it
our
doesn't seem to be the
follower
case.
of our police
black and
pursuit
white
coverage,
unit
you know
turned
that
and
when
did
a
not follow
chase
him
enters
after
that
So,
area, we are
can't
back
quite
in a
be right
residential
over it
area,
because
making
of
that
the landing
southbound
traffic
turn
coming
into
it's
LAX.
gonna
So
be
we are at a
Compton
further
Avenue
distance
from
than we would
57,
normally
and
like
he's
to
back
be,
in
but
that LAX
we'll
airspace,
continue to
which,
follow
if you're from
Alameda,
a
which is where
follower
we're
of our
parked, and
follower of
pointing
our
to the
police
west
pursuit coverage,
you know
toward
that
when
this area of South
Chase
Los
enters
Angeles,
that
the
area,
area
we
58th
can't
Street
quite
and
be right
Ascot
over it
Avenue.
because
The vehicle's actually at a complete stop right
into
now.
LAX. So we are
But
at a
whenever
further
he
distance
has
than
done
we
that,
would normally,
the last few times
like
it's
to
simply
be,
just
but,
to reverse
we'll,
course
continue
into
to follow it
those
here from,
officers
Alameda,
that are
which is where we're
chasing him,
parked,
and
and has
pointing
slowed down
to the west
completely.
There you go.
Toward this area of
Right
South Los
into
Angeles
that
in the
lead
area
unit
58th
of
Street
the
and
LAPD.
Ascot Avenue. The
And
vehicle's
it looks
actually
like
at a
he's
complete
simply going to
stop
put the
right
car
now.
back in drive
But whenever
and
he
try
has
to
done
take
that,
off
the
yet
last
again.
few times it's simply
I'm going to
just
push
to
in here
reverse
as
course
much
into
as I can
here.
those officers that are chasing him.
As,
But he
he
continues
has
to
slowed
ram
down
these
completely.
police
There you
units.
go.
They
Right
sort of tried
into
to pit
that
maneuver
lead
earlier.
unit of
Didn't
the
really work.
LAPD.
I heard them trying spike
And it
strips
looks like
as
he's
well.
simply
Going to put the car back in drive and
I'm
try to
hearing,
take
the
off
officers
yet
say that
again.
they think the tires
I'm
might
push
be
in here
bald.
as much as
So,
I can here.
if
that's the case, hopefully that
as,
will.
he
continues to ram these police
assist
units,
them in
bringing this chase
to
sort
an
of
end.
tried to
But
pit
Hooper
maneuver
Avenue
earlier.
at
Didn't really
58th
work.
Street
I
here in
heard
the
them
South
trying
Los Angeles
spike strips
area.
as well. We've got a parade
hearing,
here
the
of
officers say
police
that they think
units.
the tires
We've only
might
got
be
about
bald.
6 of them with their
So,
lights on, but behind
if
them they've
that's
got
the
about
case,
another
hopefully
5 or
that
so.
will,
We've got about a dozen
them in bringing
squad
this
cars
chase to
here
an end. But Hooper
behind
Avenue
this
at
suspect
58th
vehicle,
Street here
some
in the
with their
South
lights
Los
on,
Angeles
some
area.
without. We've got continuing to chase this guy through a residential area in
police
South Los
units,
Angeles. We've only got about 6 of them with their lights on, but behind them they've got about another 5 or so. So we've got about a dozen squad cars here behind this suspect vehicle.
I am
some
hearing
with
them
their
talking
lights
about
on,
setting up some
without,
spike strips.
but continuing to chase
But they
this
have
guy
to
through
pretty
a
much figure out
residential
his
area,
pattern. South
figure
Los
out
Angeles,
what street
58th
is he
and
going to
Hooper.
take in order to be able to successfully deploy those in front of him. And they also have to try to not get in the way of the other officers so that their tires don't end up
I am
flat.
hearing them talking
So it's
about
a very
setting up some
tricky
spike
situation.
strips.
It requires a lot of coordination.
But they have to pretty much
between,
figure out
the
his
officers,
pattern.
figure out what street is
that
he
are
gonna
chasing
take
this
in
guy
order
and
to be able
officers
to
who are assisting
successfully
with
deploy
deploying that
those
spike strip. But
in
we're coming
front of
up
him.
here to
And they also have to try to not get
Central's going to be the
in the way
major.
of the other
That's running
officers.
across
He doesn't really know. I don't think. Well, obviously he has no idea what he's going to do. I mean, usually we see some type of maneuver where they stick to the streets, they get on the freeways. This guy here is just sticking to the city streets.
And no
And-
attempt really to either jump out too, because normally in some of these situations, right, not yet, we want to be clear, it could still very much happen, but, you know, you try and find, these folks try to find like a back alley or a neighborhood, a place with a lot of
Overpass.
backyards and places that they can kind of jump in and out of, and not even seeing that right now, which goes back and speaks to the highly unpredictable nature of what we're seeing right now.
And we don't know if he's armed, you know, again,
Right.
like, I want to reiterate that,
Yeah.
that these officers kind of have to be prepared for anything.
Police units,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, any type of high risk stop with this, it's going to end up being. Yeah, that's one thing you have to consider. You know, you're going to be prepared. I hate to repeat myself over and over again, but you're always prepared for the worst. You're hoping it's not. You're hoping the guy will give up. But this guy here, I mean, slamming into black and whites. Here we go. Oh, well, okay. I think we're going to be trying to.
Oh, yeah, there was an attempt right there.
Not quite. Not enough speed up in there to get them. But yeah, they're going to try and pit them now.
Is that unusual to see them do that on a street where you've got other vehicles around? I mean, doing it on as a main road, or is that something they'll do if they really feel like this guy is going to be putting people in danger?
Vehicles behind him, the patrol units with their lights and sirens.
They'll do if they really feel like this guy is going to be putting people in danger the more they keep going.
But he's continuing northbound.
Yeah, that could be it. Or that they felt that there was enough room there where they could go ahead and spit them out. and then have the other black and whites come up behind them and lock them in. So at that point, they thought there was enough time, and that speed was just right. Everything was just right. But now here's what happens: is that this guy here is up in the 70s.
Yeah, this is about as fast as we've seen this suspect go since we broke in. More than I want to say about 20-30 minutes ago or so. It's just been such an up and down type of pursuit. So it is worth just sort of catching up a little bit as we kind of reset every 5 to 10 minutes or so. That this is in Southeast LA as of right now. We know that the suspect is wanted for assault on an officer and has repeatedly used this pickup truck as a sort of reverse battering ram into a number of cruisers. Once again, we don't know if the suspect is armed. We don't even know if it's just one person in the vehicle or if it's more. So we're going to gather more details for you, but obviously we'll continue to monitor the situation. We also have Dave Avila on the phone with us as well. And, you know, it's already been dangerous even on the low speeds, and now it just heightens with how fast this person's going now.
Dave, does it kind of feel like his behavior has changed ever since they tried to do that maneuver to kind of get him to spin him out? Does it feel like he got a little more aggressive, especially with these speeds?
Yeah, I think he finally realized that they're not playing around now. They're not going to follow him forever, that they're actually going to take some action. So all of a sudden now his adrenaline starts pumping, and he starts, he's trying to, get away from them now. And even though he just going on the street, so it always it always comes down to the risk versus reward on this thing. We're going to risk continuing the pursuit. And the question is he a threat to the public? Yeah, absolutely he is. So we're going to continue the pursuit, and we're going to continue to go after him. Then the watch commander is watching this, and they'll decide. They'll call some shots.
He looks like something's coming out of the back.
Yeah, the smoke.
The tire that you were talking about earlier, potentially, hitting the rim? Well.
Yeah, I hope so, because it looks like we got some smoke out there. I mean, that'll help. Now, it'd be better if it was the front tires, because then it would mess up his maneuverability as far as controlling that thing. But, these tires are big tires, so, yeah, he may be tearing that tire up. We hopefully so.
Yeah, we're seeing the damage is more clear than ever on the right rear there, and that's probably from the repeated attempts at ramming into police cruisers. There's also been some stuff in the bed of that pickup truck as well. It's just kind of been moving around throughout the night, but that's just a note. I'm still trying to see as we get behind buildings here for a second if we can make out if it's just the driver, if there's someone else in the passenger seat. I can't really tell. I know it almost looked like the window was.
He drove through, again, for those just now joining us, we watched him just drive right over these railroad tracks, and there he goes.
Speaking of maneuverability,
Yeah, you know what? I think that last pit maneuver did some damage to the left rear, because if you notice, it's not steady anymore. It's not when he made like that corner, it wasn't at a high rate. I mean, but he just started to spin out. So I think there is some damage to that left rear, which is going to affect his speed and his maneuverability. They may be able to get another pit maneuver on him.
It would also make a lot of sense because of all that smoke we just saw a couple minutes ago as he was driving a straightaway there, and that was the first turn really that we saw attempted, and it just didn't go all that well. So, and on top of all that, like you said, Dave, earlier, that this is a vehicle that's already a little bit more difficult to maneuver just because it's so heavy. So now with damage, it's going to make it even worse.
Is he going to go for it?
There we go. I think we're going to do it again here. Not quite. But we're working on it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's losing control even without them, but it may just be the way that the, tires are moving as they take those turns with that big truck. I mean, yeah, heavy but light in the back. If you've ever driven a pickup truck, easy to fishtail. So that's certainly what.
There you go.
There he goes.
Or standard, so to speak, of a pit maneuver might not be the same, and might actually need even more force to be able to knock it off its axis there, Dave.
Right. Yeah, you can see the desperation. Now he was going on the wrong side of the road, cut up between some cars. Okay, here we go. Come on, guys, we can get it. This one here.
And there you go.
Okay, let's get okay, where's the other black and whites? There we go. Now, this is kind of textbook. This is textbook. This is actually I love watching this. As far as being a retired cop, this is just so great right now. I mean, this is what the pit maneuver was meant to do, and they're doing it right now. Outstanding job, guys and gals.
Fantastic. Now we'll wait and see what he does as a sort of standoff ensues, because it does not appear that door is opening. Can you see anybody in the passenger?
No, I was trying to make out there to see if there was.
Here
It
we
didn't
go.
look
He's
like it,
coming
but
out.
there you go. There's the suspect getting out of the driver's side and just surrounded on all fronts. I mean, like Dave, like you said, everything has been executed. I mean, fair to say to perfection from that moment that pit maneuver is executed?
Absolutely, because the unit that executes a pit maneuver, his job isn't to stick, or their job is not to stick around, is to hit them and then get out of harm's way. Let the black and whites in the back, so all the ones that are following him, do exactly what they're doing right now.
And we can see he's appearing to talk to, he's got his hands at least out and moving around, almost like he's talking, but is he, holding anything? Of course, that's what they're looking for, to see if there's something in his hand. But it appears.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It appears maybe not, but.
Yeah, walking out slowly now.
Right.
Well, let's see. It looks like it's like the person's making their way ever so slowly. The vantage point is a little covered right now just because of the front end of this building, but Sky Cow is slowly making its way around, so we'll be able to get a clear shot here. But yeah, listening, it looks like two officers' commands. At least you would hope so.
Yeah. I mean, right now, of course, you hold your breath hoping that this just ends, with this guy just giving up and not doing anything drastic.
Yeah, what they're telling him to do right now is turn around. They don't want him looking at them, because if he has a 9mm, shoved it in the back of his pants, he could reach for it. But, we've all seen it, throw the keys out, step out, put your hands up, turn around, back up towards us. And he's having a little hard time complying with that, because we still don't know if he has a weapon on him. It could be a danger. Okay, there we go. We'll just take him down now.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Great job.
Yeah, no shortage of officers in this situation
No.
either. I mean, and just in case, if you're tuning in at the very tail end of this, I mean, the response is essentially justified in the sense of what we were seeing at the beginning, where this vehicle, this driver in that pickup truck was on multiple occasions throwing it in reverse and ramming it into the front end of these patrol cars, and then leading officers on a lengthy pursuit on all of these surface streets in Southeast LA. Now looks like it's ending here in Central City on Alameda Street and East 16th Street. But looks like officers are going through the vehicle right now to see if there's anything else left in there. But that suspect in custody right now. And it looks like we have a bow being put on this very crazy situation.
Facing a lot of felonies, as you mentioned, though, Dave. This is a guy that, used his car repeatedly as a weapon against these officers, and is not going to be walking away with a very short rap list. That's for sure.
No, this was assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer utilizing a motor vehicle. I mean, can't get any worse than actually injuring the officer. So no, he's looking at with this DA, this guy's looking at some time behind bars.
And on top of all this, too, almost miraculously, no significant damage, or really any damage from what we could tell during the course of the pursuit to anybody else.
Wow, yeah.
Right? To no residents, no people, pedestrians walking on the streets, no other vehicles that we could see on the roads, and that's quite something considering how erratic things were there for a while.
Yeah, and Gio and Hunter, and I know people, because I hear it a lot, and that's, Dave, why don't they stop them? Why didn't they do it? This is why. And you just called it right now. It's about citizen officer safety. Looks like the officers are going to be okay, hopefully.
Yeah.
Citizens, we haven't seen anybody hurt or T-boned. So this is what it's all about. And it actually worked on this one.
And like you said, textbook pit maneuver there. We appreciate you, Dave, for joining us, giving us your insight, of course. This was touch and go there for a minute, but we are glad to see that this, safely for the most part has been wrapped up. We really appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. Anytime, guys. You guys take care. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you. All right, let's get now to other stories we're tracking.